Good morning. I have a new box here. This is going to be the China hutch cabinet thing. I don't really know what to call it. I've done a lot of research in trying to find the right cabinet thing, and some places call them kitchenettes. Sometimes they're China hutches, sometimes they're just cabinets, tall buffets. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but it has finally arrived and I'm going to unbox it and build it today and actually start organizing it. It's going to make such a difference. I'm going to be able to finally get through all of the boxes that are sitting on the floor in the dining room, and I'm gonna be able to unbox my mug collection. If you are new here, my name is Rachel. My boyfriend and I just moved into our new apartment and I'm in the process of setting it up and organizing it. And today, this piece is just gonna make things so much better. And we're gonna create a little coffee station. I feel like I forgot that very important part. A really cute little coffee station so that I can get up and get straight into my morning routine every day. And I'm very excited about it. I think I'm gonna unbox this here and then just take the pieces over to sort of behind the couch / dining room area and build it over there and then move it into place, because there's gonna be a lot of pieces in here. This box is actually very heavy, very big, very annoying to move around. So I think that's probably gonna be the best way to navigate this. Everything's out, very messy. There's little pieces of styrofoam everywhere and it's very dusty. This thing is so cheap though. I am not expecting much from the quality, but I read the reviews and everybody was raving about it. The pictures looked good, so I thought, you know what? This could be our temporary unit just to get everything organized, and I will spend my time searching Facebook Marketplace to find the most perfect secondhand solid wood forever type hutch, you know, something that I will keep forever, that will weigh probably 1,000 pounds. But in the meantime, we have this guy, and this way I could do whatever I want to it. I could paint it. I think I'm gonna leave these doors off. These doors are for the top of it. I don't know if I want the glass doors because the kitchen is already full of glass doors. So we'll see. But I'm gonna start putting this together and hopefully it doesn't take too long. I turned around to start putting things together and I realized there was no instructions. None. And I was so upset about it because I just didn't want to have to return it. I didn't want to wait for instructions. I didn't want to have to communicate with someone. I just wanted to put it together. I went to the brand's website. They didn't have any PDFs like IKEA does. And I emailed them, and you know what? They've actually never got back to me. And so I thought to myself, I was like, I have built enough furniture in my time. I can figure this out. Like, it was very overwhelming because there were so many pieces. But I was like, I can do this. So I started with the drawers because the drawers are pretty straightforward, right? All of the pieces will have a large hole and a small hole. The large holes will usually have a piece of dowel go into them, and the smaller holes will usually have these little metal long screws that you slip the next piece onto, and then you have these little round metal things that go over the top of them and you tighten them. So that was like the first part, and really easy. And then I had a few bags of screws. And I figured that the largest screws would be to screw the backs of the drawers together, because you can count the screws out. They will always give you more than what you need, but that was the way that I figured it out. I would count out the items to see what would match. So this was really easy. Like, the drawers came together very quickly. Then I had all of these other bags, and there were 2 sets of small screws, and I couldn't figure out which screws were going to attach the metal pieces to the drawer. So I started counting out the first set, and there was a lot more than what the drawers called for. And then I found all these little white pieces, so I lined them up, and they matched the first set of screws that I pulled out. These little white pieces are to help keep the backboards of the drawers and the back of the thing in place. And then I opened the second bag of screws, which actually happened to be the smallest screws. The absolute smallest screws will usually always be for the drawers. So we figured that out, and I got the little railing things attached to the side of the drawers. Next, I laid out the pieces for the base of the unit, and right here where I'm screwing these pieces together was my first mistake. These 2 pieces do belong together. I was just putting them together in the wrong order, but it took me a while to figure out. So I just started laying out pieces, trying to figure out where everything went. This was helpful because as I'm laying all these pieces out and just moving things around, I realized as I was screwing these screws in that I'm not going to be able to put the shelf on with everything already attached. So it was after this bit that I pulled everything apart and started to do it in the right order. I don't know, it just kind of clicked and I was able to see exactly where everything goes. I was also referencing a lot of the pictures they have on the website as well, just so I could see what panels were showing on the outside. But it was at about this point where I realized exactly where everything had to go, and it just made sense. I also figured out where to put the other half of the metal things for the drawers. These are the ones that the drawers slip into. And I did it. I got the drawers working on day one. Good morning. I can't believe we have no instructions. I'm actually making some progress though. I'm going to finish it today, thankfully. I have made a couple mistakes, had to undo them, but it's going smoothly, so let's just get in and get this done. We're starting off with the base again. We're just gonna finish off that base because I was sort of having a look at the pieces and thinking about it, and I realized that we're gonna build the base and the top separately, and the very, very last thing will be attaching them together. So I was just going to work on the base here. This is kind of like the bottom leg section. And again, I made a mistake. I had to pull a little bit of it apart because there were these two extra pieces that were kind of like support pieces in the middle. And I realized they were missing because there were extra holes where screws should have been that were empty. So I did have to pull it apart and start again. But it's fine. We got it working. Next, it was time to work on the shelves. I think by this point I was so used to all of the pieces and the way that it should look that this did not take very long at all. I do think I made one little mistake maybe and had to pull something apart, but I can't quite remember. But it was, yeah, very, very easy, and I was so excited because I was getting so close to finishing. I did have one piece of trouble though, and I cannot tell you how it was supposed to go on, and it was attaching the side panel of the top piece while also trying to attach it to the base of the top piece. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was almost like there was too many prongs, and you kind of had to almost warp everything, and I actually left a piece of dowel out because I just couldn't get it on without it. So I'm not really sure how that was supposed to work, but I got there in the end. It did take a while, but I did it. I've completed the top and the bottom section, and I'm pretty sure the last step is to join them together. So I'm going to take all of the boxes out of the corner of the dining room and put the base in, then put the top in, then we can start unboxing all of the boxes. It was so exciting. Once I moved the piece in and put the drawers in, I decided to just use the original knobs and handles. Maybe I'll change them eventually, I don't know. But I did that, and then I forgot to film me attaching the top shelves, which I'm not gonna lie, was quite difficult, probably a little dangerous. Wouldn't recommend on your own, but I'm impatient and I wasn't going to wait for Chester to get home, so I did it and I survived. Then I had to do the doors. I am not a fan of doors at all. They're just so fiddly. I tend to rest them sort of on my lower leg / foot when I am attaching them. It's the easiest way to go about it. You have to play with all of the screws on the inside to move the doors and position them so that they're straighter and that the gaps between them are even, and it took so long. Definitely my least favorite task, but once it was done, I gave the whole unit a good clean because I wasn't going to put anything on there until I had cleaned off all the dust. It's done. I can't believe I actually put it together. I just spent a little while trying to get the doors as even as possible, and I think they're pretty good. I do think one of the handles is slightly off, and I might change the handles eventually. But yeah, I'm really glad that I actually was able to put this together. Like I said, it is very cheap, not very high quality, but it will get me through until I find my dream solid wood piece secondhand. I now get to unbox everything and start styling it up and putting it away. I'm thinking maybe coffee machine on this side. It's really nice because it has the cutout hole at the back, so I can send the cords through there and then down to the power point down there. And then there is this little piece up here that has sort of broken, so I will glue that back down, and then there's still a bit of styrofoam up there that I need to clean off, but it's done. After this, I realized I had 2 small pieces left over, and I was trying to figure out where they go, and then it hit me. It's the bottom of the drawers. It kind of helps the drawer be a bit stronger and not just fall through if you have too much stuff in there. So I had to unscrew the back of the drawers to do it, but it was fine, took 5 minutes, and I'm kind of glad that I did that and didn't skip over it. And then was the fun part, which was unboxing all of my home decor. So at first I was a bit like, oh, I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like the styling. I don't know how I feel about it. But to bring out my kettle and my coffee machine and finally get to do that was just, it was so nice. And I think in the end, it looks really, really good. And I think we're done with it for now. I did make a mistake though. You can see there's the screws on the inside there. I can fix it. I just need to take the top off, flip it around, and then put everything back together. So I can do that. I'm probably just not going to do that right now. And I also threaded the cables through the little hole at the back, and I put an extension cord down there from that power point, and it's all behind the unit, which is really nice. I haven't really filled the drawers or anything. I put a few coffee and tea related things in this drawer. I don't think I have anything in here. Like, all this extra storage is so great. On this side, I'm gonna be putting my bag of flour, which is in the corner over there. So I'm excited to have somewhere for that. And then I just have those few extra pieces that I will deal with, but we have so much more room, which is very, very exciting. Also too, I completely forgot that I had this guy. I bought this at Marshall's and I didn't know what I was gonna do with it, and it basically just went into the moving box as soon as I bought it. But the other one that had my coffee in it actually broke last week, so now I was able to put my coffee in here, which I think is great. So it's all fixed. I do just have to adjust the time because it's out by an hour maybe in the time that I was fiddling with everything. I don't know how I'm gonna fully style it or what I want to do, but I really like it. I just now need to empty all of my mug collection. Welcome to my insane coffee mug collection. I love my coffee mugs. There is no better feeling than making a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and putting it into a cute mug and just enjoying the drink, especially when we get into like autumn and winter. It's just so comforting to me. Like, if I'm stressed or anxious, give me a cup of tea. Like, there's something about it that's like, it's almost like a security blanket for me, and I love it. And I have a stupid amount. I think I'm going to potentially get rid of a couple. Look at my autumn ones though. I'm so excited. There's actually one more autumn one I'm going to add to the collection. I found it on World Market and I have to have it, but I love it. The fact that my coffee mugs actually took up the whole 2 shelves, I think I'm gonna need to get some of those extra shelf things, you know, where you can double up. That would probably be the best idea. And then I used my leftover coffee to make an iced coffee, and I love it. So I'm really, really excited with my little coffee station. It's a couple of days later and I love this piece in the dining room. It's like my favorite thing to get up in the morning and come here and make coffee, and then I sit at the dining table. It's so pretty to look at with all my bits and pieces. This wall behind me is a little plain though, so I do want to find something to go here. But I think the dining room might be my favorite room in the apartment. And it's Saturday today and Chester is out with his friends and I have the car, which very rarely happens on weekends. I don't get a lot of alone time and also having the car on weekends. So I thought, let's spend the rest of the afternoon going to a couple of thrift stores and to a HomeGoods. I'm hoping to make the thrift stores because it is the afternoon right now and they do close quite early, but HomeGoods is open till 9:30. So we do have all afternoon to do a little bit of home shopping. So I thought we could do that together. It would be really fun. I've got a mental list. I'm not gonna write an actual list, but I will take the tape measure with me because the last few times that I have been out looking at home stuff, I have really wished I had brought a tape measure. So I'm going to do that, grab my bag, and let's go. The plans have changed a little bit. I skipped over going to Bethesda because the thrift stores, they're closed at like 3 and 4 p.m. But here in North Bethesda, there's a Salvation Army and a Goodwill. And I've just pulled up at the Salvation Army and they don't close till 7. And I think the Goodwill is like 8:30. So I have all of the time in the world. First place I went to though was West Elm, and I walked in and I walked straight back out. It was very plain, definitely not my style. So I think we'll stick to the HomeGoods and the thrifting for this afternoon. This thrift store actually had a fair bit of furniture, but in terms of home decor and stuff, there just wasn't a very large selection and nothing really caught my eye except this very cool mail holder with like little key hooks at the bottom. I thought that was very cool. Then we went over to Goodwill and there was so much more in this store. The color of the day was yellow. And I always thought that this applied to the color of the item, but it applies to the color of the sticker. So I did get a couple things on sale, but I kind of went straight to the silver section because you can find some really good pieces here. And I found this little guy. Really like the little tray. Needs a clean, but then I went straight to the baskets as well. So when I'm thrifting, I'm always going to go to the silver and I'm always going to go to the baskets. I found this basket. It was cute, but I didn't love anything, so I didn't bother. And then I went into the plates and cups section and also the glassware. I wanted to try and find a short little vase for the coffee table. That was on my list. I found two potential candidates. The first one was a very thin vase that had like shape to it. The second one was just a more solid vase. I decided to go with the more solid one just because that one was really thin and I just felt like it could shatter at any moment. I also was hunting for some martini glasses, but everything that was available had a very thick rim. I want something really thin and crisp. I also really want some crystal dishes, but that one was just a little too big. And then they also had a lot of really cool furniture and home stuff as well. Also to this chair. This chair was $12. Trying to buy a chair like this brand new, they're like $500-$600. So it's a shame they didn't have a set, but really beautiful chair. I just finished up in Goodwill and they were having a bit of a sale today. So I got a small piece of furniture and 3 pieces of home decor for $16, which is crazy. So I'll have to show you at home what I got. Let's head to HomeGoods. First thing I've noticed is this HomeGoods is very crammed. There's a lot of stuff in here and a lot of autumn stuff. I think next month in August, I might come down and have a little bit of a look. I really like these green pumpkins. I think they're very cool. One thing that I'm after is a small, so this kind of size small, white pedestal dish. And that was just a flat top to it, which I didn't love, but they had bigger ones that had more of the bowl on it. But I don't want a big one, I just want a little one. They had a lot of chicken themed stuff for the kitchen, which was so cute, but some of these dishes here, I have no idea what they were for. I also really like this gold basket. I don't know, the way they had all of the baskets and the chickens together, I just really, really liked it. I grabbed a lemon squeezer thingy because it's been on my list. I use lemon every day and I really need one. Also too, this little pumpkin spoon holder. I need a spoon holder, but then I realized I could have seasonal spoon holders, and then I got a bit overwhelmed and I left it. I also found some laundry bins. I want one on wheels. I really should have got one from the other HomeGoods I went to the other week because they just didn't have any nice ones at this one. I also found much, much larger storage baskets in the same woven pattern as the other ones I picked up the other week because I love that pattern. I think it's such a beautiful weave. And they had a medium, I guess, and a large, but I didn't get them because I just didn't know where I would put them or what I would do with them, but I loved them. They had lots of really cool artwork and they also had some storage benches, which I love. I really like this blue one, but I think it's a little too big for the space that I want it. But I do want some sort of little storage bench, ottoman type thing for the living room. Good morning. We have to go through all of the things that I picked up the other day. I didn't spend too much money. I think in total I spent about $30 and there was a lot of sales. So I got some really good deals. From HomeGoods, I ended up grabbing one of the lemon squeezer things because I really, really need one. And this was, I think, what, $6? And then I also grabbed these silverish kind of knobs that I thought I could try on the console table, and these ones were $5, and if they don't work, I can return them, but I just thought I would try them. From the first thrift store, I did get the little mail holder thing with the key hooks. I thought we could hang this in the foyer because when I do the mail, I open it and then I just leave it in front of the TV, and then I deal with it like once-ish a week. I'll go into the office and shred everything and file things away. And I thought maybe this would be the better place to have all of our mail, and it can just be kind of up and out of the way. And this was only $6. From the second thrift store, Goodwill, they had a lot of sales and deals, and I got 4 things for $15. The first one I got is the little hurricane vase. This is perfect for the hydrangeas on the coffee table. This one had a yellow sticker, so it was 99 cents. And then afterwards, I was thinking about it and I was like, I want more, because when it comes to sort of autumn and like the cooler weather and things getting cozy, I really want to do a whole bunch of hurricane candles, and the best way to do it is to thrift because they're so cheap. So I think the next time I go to the thrift store, I'll start thinking about having some of these as candle holders as well. I got a little silver dish. It needs some work, but the other day I bought myself a birthday present. I bought a silver champagne bucket, like a vintage one. I think it's from the 70s. It's a little ornate, it's beautiful, but it looks like this. So I need to do some work on them, and I think that should be arriving hopefully this week, and I just thought that would be a really fun project. And I like the size of this dish because it's small and I can use it as like a trinket dish, but very, very happy with that. Kind of bummed I didn't find any crystal trinket dishes, but maybe the next time I go thrifting I will. And then I also got this little frame. It's just a blue photo frame with a watercolor type print in there. It's like a beachy vibe. I don't know where I'm gonna put it. Maybe in the bathroom. I just really liked it, and it was $2, $3. So I thought, why not? And then I did get a piece of furniture, which I think is so cool. I ended up getting this stool. It's a fully wooden stool. Maybe I will sand it back and stain it a different color one day. Maybe dark, like a cherry. But for now, I think it's great. It's very sturdy. And this one was on sale for 50% off as well. So it came to $7, which I thought was probably the best find. So I might use it as a plant stand, I think. I just really want a lot of little stools and plant stands and like tables. I have like a white one over there that I thrifted off Facebook Marketplace. And so that's what I want to do. That's sort of what I want to add around here, just little spots for plants and things. And I really like it. So I'm super happy with my haul. I think I might wrap this video up here though, and maybe in the coming videos we can figure out where these are gonna go and how to style them. So I hope you've enjoyed hanging out. I'm so glad that I actually managed to put this together, and it looks fabulous, and it's given me so much more storage, and I will see you very, very shortly.